This is Limitless Podcast, soon to be the most epic, badass, liberating podcast of all of humanity. Known by everyone you know soon. Believe it. You know it, you know it, you know it. And remember, this is the podcast where we remind you of your infinite potential, how this is your reality. You create your reality. This is your kingdom if you allow it to be, because you are God if you allow yourself to be. And you can do anything. We can do anything. Because we are limitless. Hey guys, what's up? Hope all is well. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. Um, so I kind of just want to do another short little in-house episode on something that I think is kind of important. Um, I want to talk about microdosing and like just how much it's been helping me because I think it's pretty important. So I've been taking these things called Road Trip Desert Stardust Mushroom Gummies, and they're basically like a legal mimic of psilocybin. And like you can see on the back, they have like a guide. And by the way, I'm not like affiliated with them. I don't work for them. I'm not sponsored by them. So, you know, I'm not like getting paid to do this. I just genuinely think it could help. So it has like a dosage guide. I microdose them. So like I'll take like half of one. Like it says on the back, a low dose is 1 gummy, a moderate dose is 2 to 3, high dose is 4 to 5, heavy dose is 6 to 8, and there's 8. So I just take like half of a gummy, and then, you know, maybe like I'll take half of a gummy in the morning on days that I do microdose, and then like maybe late afternoon I'll take another half. Kind of play it by ear. It also depends on how much I want to feel it, right? Because sometimes I want to feel it a little bit more than other days. So, but yeah, like it's crazy how much it's been helping me. Like it's just been really, really helping me lean into fear, if that makes sense. Like things that used to make me anxious, I'm able to kind of like lean into that fear now. Whereas like in the past, I would have like shied away, right? Like, I would have been like, like insecure. Whereas now it's like, like come at me. So that's cool. It's really been helping me with that. And also it's just been helping me like get my life together too. Like it's been helping me go through this process. And something else I want to talk about too is like, for those of you that don't know, like I've been sober for a couple months, and I started to almost get a problem, which is why I had to stop. And but before that, I used to drink a lot in moderation. Like I was really big on drinking moderately, and I still kind of used to think it was okay until I drank for the first time in like 3 months, 2 nights ago. And I had felt good with myself because like I'd felt so good from these things, and I just felt good about my life. Like I'm starting to work out again. I'm starting to take care of myself more, if you get what I'm saying. And I haven't felt this good in a long time. And so I decided I'm gonna have a drink. I blame you, Sly. Sylvester Stallone. That's what caused it. Is uh Sly had a freaking ad, the one where he's like on the big bird. I see on Instagram, and I was like, you know what? I kind of want a beer. So went and got some beer, and I ended up being dumb. And like I originally just bought like 3 tall boys, and by the time I was on my second one, I was like, I kind of think I'm gonna need more. So my dumbass went and got more, and I got a 12 pack. Just cause like I was like, I've come such a long way, and I kind of wanted to like celebrate my revival, right? Cause it's like a rebirth season for me, and I freaking did it, and I got stupid. I started like, reaching out to people that I shouldn't have. You know, I started doing some things, but one sec, guys. I'll continue this in a sec. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Anyways, what I was saying is, yeah, I basically just got carried away, and I felt the need to like fix things, if that makes sense. That like I probably didn't need to, and like, yeah, that's kind of another topic. I don't know if I want to get into that in this podcast episode yet. Regardless, I did and said some stupid shit that like I didn't really want to. You get the memo. And I kind of woke up the next day yesterday with that like aw shit feeling, where it's just like damn. So I'm kind of just making this to again remind you guys that like I'm human too. I'm figuring this life thing out. I still have my ups and downs, but anyways, the point of this is I noticed I started feeling like a really overwhelming sense of insecurity and anxiety. And I still kind of feel it lingering on me now. This is 2 days after. And the weird thing is like, I feel like I would still feel this way if I didn't do what I did. Like, even if I would have just minded my business. And it's making me look back on when I did used to drink a lot more, that a lot of the anxiety, depression, and insecurity was actually probably from the after effects of alcohol. So it's kind of funny because it's almost like the opposite. Like I noticed, well, like when you're on alcohol, you get confidence, right? But it's almost like the next day and the next days after, I notice in my experience, like I get like super insecure. And it's almost like it's that energy of shying away, right? Where like if I have something that makes me anxious, I'm more likely to like shy away and like curl up, you know? Where it's like really funny because like these things have been helping me do the opposite. Like they've been helping me lean into my fears. And it was just like a really cool full circle lesson for me. It was like it felt orchestrated, like something you'd see in like a TV show with the revelation I had with that. And it's just making me realize that like yeah, alcohol is probably not the best idea. So I also want to make this to announce that I'm going sober for life starting yesterday or 2 days ago. Last time I drank, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and if you guys do have a drinking problem, these will honestly help with that too, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a medical professional, I'm not an advisor. I'm just a dude sharing my own experience, but it's crazy. Anyways, back to this. Some other things that these have been helping me do is I started to like dissociate from the right side of my body. I didn't even realize it. Like I had been numb to the right side of my body for so long that I forgot what it felt like to not be numb to it. Like you know how like if you look at your finger, you can like look at your guys' finger. I want you to try this. Hold your finger out, look at the point of your finger, and then look to the base. And then look to the look to the tip of your finger, my bad. Then look at the base and then slowly look up to the tip and then slowly look down. You know how you can feel your chi, like your awareness. It was almost like I couldn't even move my awareness through the right side of my body compared to my left for whatever reason. Just throughout the years, like probably from the dab carts, because I used to smoke dab carts in high school. That's another thing. I think it gave me psychosis, and I think it had something to do with that. It had to either be the carts and or the alcohol that led to me not being able to run my awareness through that part of my body as easy. The point is that these things have helped me so much with that. Like it's like my meridians are able to actually function right now on the right side of my body. It's like my meridians are literally like open now. It's crazy. And like it feels good. Like I forgot what it felt like. Like I've been numb for so long that like it just became normal and I kind of forgot, but like I haven't felt this good in terms of like my body since like pre-high school. So that's how I know that it had to be some neurological, psychological shit. It wasn't just physical because like I've had periods since high school where like I've been really into working out and that didn't help it either. Like I worked out without even being able to move my awareness through there. But it's like now it's like I'm back. It's just like I feel like the phoenix right now. Like literally, like I literally feel like the phoenix. And it kind of sucked though cuz like I was on top, right? I was like I'm the phoenix. I'm rising from the ashes. I've rebuilt myself thanks to these things and thanks to just everything else I talk about on here, like realizing that I create my reality. This is my reality, doing positive affirmations, casting out negative timelines and beings and spirits and all that. It's just like I feel I've never felt better. And then all of a sudden, not even a day later, I'm drunk sending texts that I will regret in the morning waking up. Like, why did I do that? And to delve more into that, I am going to talk about this because I think like it can make a good story and a good lesson. I was debating on talking about what happened, but so you guys know how like when it comes to like this spiritual stuff and like the kind of stuff that I be talking about on here, it's not for everybody, right? Especially like average Christians and stuff like that. And you know how like a lot of spiritual people say like you should make like a separate account from your family and stuff. I've kind of battled with that internally cuz like I'm the kind of person where I don't I don't like to do that cuz I don't want it to come off to them like I'm putting up a wall cuz I want to be welcoming, right? And like that's the point of this journey is, as a planet we need to come together. But at the same time, I was kind of battling with this internal thing of like self-care in the sense of like if I know that if I know that like a certain family member following me will make me like get really bad anxiety and insecurity every time I go to post something, I don't want that. But I used to battle with that and let it happen anyway, and then I would end up in my head. And drinking the alcohol kind of reminded me of that feeling. And so, yeah, it's just crazy. But, anyways, sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought right there. But, anyways, what I was saying is then I was battling with the part that, like, wants to be welcoming and doesn't want to separate. So, what happened is, like, when I drank, I basically all of a sudden was like, I got the bright idea that it's a good idea to unblock my entire family right now and show them how awesome I've become. And I reached out to like a few people and apologizing because, I've dealt with anxiety and depression. I really haven't been able to be myself around my family ever since the dab carts and alcohol in high school. And on top of that, like, the spiritual shit that I be talking about just was like made it even harder. And like, so yeah, a couple months ago, I made the decision to just block everyone on my Instagram, like basically my family, because again, it wasn't personal to them. Like they're good people, especially like if any of my family seeing this in the future, I love you guys. You know that. Um, but yeah, like I just kind of did it because of my own self care, because like it was a me thing, like it wasn't them, and I felt like blocking them would help me kind of step into who I need to be more without being paranoid about like what people think. Cause like I'm one of those people that want nothing more than to make my family proud. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always wanted to make people that I care about proud. And sometimes that can be the very thing that leads to my downfall. So I kind of just did it for myself, if that makes sense. And anyways, yeah, when I drank, I was like, I'm gonna unblock everyone. I reached out to some people and it just wasn't the best idea because like the arrogance that I had on that alcohol kind of made me overlook my self-care, whereas like even if I was on a freaking mega dose of these, I would never do that. Like these things can kind of make you feel good, but like in a different way. Like they won't make you arrogant and stuff, and they won't make you do stuff that you'll regret. That's another big thing. You won't anything that you do on these, you're not going to regret. At least in my experience. So, yeah, I guess the reason I'm like bringing that up though is cuz it's kind of a good lesson for like setting boundaries and like prioritizing self-care, if that makes sense. And like I blocked them all again, to be honest, like today. And like I'm sure no one will even care. That's the thing too, is like I was overthinking it to a point where like way more than I had to from the aftermath of the alcohol and the anxiety. So, yeah. In other words, I'm never drinking again. I think I said that already in this episode. I'm going sober for life. And I encourage any of you guys to consider doing the same. And I was one of those people that I used to like really, really, really try to like talk good about alcohol and how like it's not as bad as some spiritual people make it sound. Um, but I feel like even if I wouldn't have done that, I feel like I feel like I still would feel that like cloud of insecurity and anxiety. And the reason for that is because I feel like it kind I feel like when you drink alcohol, you're almost like flashing a huge signal to everybody in the spirit realm to come fuck with you. If that makes sense, which is why you start dealing with like a cloud of like insecurity and anxiety. That's just my theory though. That would be a good topic actually to do in the next like channeling. So, but anyways, I know that got kind of off topic, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm kind of not in the best headspace right now, which is why I'm saying this because I think it's important to be like straight up with you guys. And like it's kind of cool to document my journey this way because like, even if this podcast doesn't end up doing as good as I think it will, this will be really cool for me to look back on someday. So it's kind of like just doing it for my own memories and stuff. I encourage you guys to do the same. I just seen a TikTok of this dude saying, make that YouTube video, make that podcast, even if it's just for yourself, because like you'll be able to look back on it. And it feels good. Like I just wanna say, like, I appreciate anybody that's listening to me right now and anybody that cares what this kid in Ohio has to say, because you know, it's kinda like therapy in a way. And, like, I don't wanna turn this into, like, a venting type of thing where, like, I get on here and, like, I vent all my problems to you guys and, like, kinda use you guys for that. But I really do just think, you know, sharing this can kinda make a good lesson on, like, how alcohol's probably not the best idea no matter how you slice it, even with the law of assumption. So, but then again, do what you gotta do. You know, trust yourselves. If you think that you can manifest it to be okay and you genuinely feel like having a drink now and then is good for you, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you not to. But at the same time, I personally would say don't. But I'm not gonna judge anyone that does. But anyway, these are awesome. Consider microdosing because again, they just help me like dive into fear and basically do the opposite of what happened. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's so crazy because like I literally felt on top. I literally felt like I was celebrating my rebirth season. I'm like, these things are awesome. And I was like, I finally feel good again. I've been like taking my vitamins again. Like I've been getting my protein. I've been like doing more skincare stuff, shaving more often, like just really getting into like the whole idea of self-care. And shout out Poosh, Courtney, shout out to them because like her posts have been helping. Um, it's like I just seen a post earlier about like it was like a funny self-care post. It just made me think of that. So shout out to them. But yeah, like just really been getting into that self-care energy and it's just funny how I I was literally like at a peak celebrating and then like I decide to have a few drinks and then I get too drunk and then I decide it's a good idea to unblock my whole family and like show them because like they probably don't even know this podcast exists to be real. I'm talking about like aunts, uncles, cousins, those sorts of things. They don't even know this thing exists, so it's like I'm over here like I'm over here like drunk as fuck. I seen a Naruto edit, and like for those of you that don't know, I'm basically Naruto. Like I'm connected to that. Like it's like my essence, basically, like my higher self. And like, uh, I'm over here like, what would I do as Naruto? It's like Naruto wouldn't do this, and I'm like, I gotta. I was like, I just gotta show who I am and lean into the fear, right? Whereas like that's the thing is like these things, when you lean into fear, you're doing it in a way to where you won't wake up the next morning like, oh shit. You wake up the next morning like, hell yeah, I'm proud of myself. Whereas like on alcohol, it's fake. These are you. Like when you lean into fear on these things, it's you. When you lean on the fear on alk, it's not you, it's fake. It's spirits. That's why they call it spirits. And yeah, it uh well, I woke up the next morning like god damn it. Like I basically just punched my own self in the gut. Like in the worst way. Cuz it's like I'm not ready for all that yet. It's hard cuz like you guys know how it be like to anyone especially that's around my age, like I'm 22, to anyone that's like ever smoked weed and like dab carts in high school, drank, and like you ended up dealing with anxiety and depression, and like maybe you haven't been able to be your real self around your family, you know how hard it can be to kind of like let your family start to see how you've changed, especially, that like even if you're not spiritual and you're not into wacky shit. I had anxiety, depression, and was shy on top of being into all of this spiritual multiverse, you create your own reality type thing in a family of like Christians, right? And like religious. So I just want to share that. And again, to any of my family watching this in the future, I love you guys. You know that. It was never personal. Like, it's not like I didn't think any of you guys were hating on me or anything. Again, I was just going through some anxiety, depression, because like I care, I care. I care too much, to the point where it makes me feel pressured. and it just makes me in my head. And, at the time in the past, I was drinking a lot. And, like, how I'm talking about how, like, how, like, you feel anxious and shitty the next day after drinking. It's like that feeling on top of the already insecurity is made me do that. But, yeah. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys find this interesting. Remember, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if any of you guys out there that are like into spirituality too, and like you're into all this stuff, it's kind of not a clear cut answer as to like, should you make a separate page from your family? Because like, you can argue both ways. Like, I would say, as long as it's a form of self care, as long as you're doing it with self care and out of love for them, still good. But if you're gonna do it in a way where you're like, fuck them, you know, and like putting up a wall of separation, I would encourage you to reconsider and heal more. But, or you could argue that doing it at all is just bad and it's putting up walls. I don't know. I don't really think that there is a right answer. I think it really just depends on the situation. So I just felt like it would be good to talk about this because I know that this is kind of a big topic, like, especially on TikTok. Like, on the spiritual community on TikTok, I always be getting videos, the ones where it's like chosen ones. You gotta separate, or something like that. And like, how it be. Or like, there's monitoring spirits. They're against you. Those are the bad spirits, by the way. But I already made an episode on that. That's another thing too, is like, if you feel like there are monitoring spirits as family members, it's probably not actually your family members. It's literally spirits using their vessel to fuck with you through your own psyche, astral shit that you allowed in. So clear it. I encourage you guys to clear it in your own affirmations and meditations first, and then just see what happens. And not just, and even if it was like a bad parallel of them, just tell yourself that you aligned with a better parallel. Because again, separation's not the answer, but then again, self-preservation for the time being during like training, like I'm still training, right? That's how I'm gonna look at it. It's okay. But I mean, yeah, like at some point, everybody's gonna like, if this podcast actually pops off someday, then like I'm aware that like everybody's gonna know. I'm not just gonna be able to keep it, and I wouldn't want to anyway. But I kind of want to wait until I'm more credible and like have made it more before that. And I was kind of jumping the gun because of the alcohol. That's the thing, is like, alcohol can kind of make you want to jump the gun, like too soon. And I'm already spontaneous as it is when I'm not dealing with anxiety and depression while sober. So like, alcohol and me don't mix well, I'm the hyperactive knucklehead. Like, I'm already the type to like, I still be catching myself doing stuff where I'm just like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. But yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Hope you find it interesting. Again, consider microdosing, especially if you do like to drink and you haven't tried it before. Like, if you deal with anxiety, depression, uh, you still be like, not feeling like your best self, try it. It might help. It really might. And don't go crazy with it. I'm not saying buy these things and take the whole bag and like trip balls. Although I do think that it is good to like trip every now and then, like maybe every couple years, or even just like once in your life, just to like really because some of my most profound experiences and my most profound insights and changes have come from taking a lot. So, but I mean, obviously, like it's not something you want to do all the time. So, because like, there's a period where you kind of got to rebuild. You got to integrate the lessons from that first, and that can take some time. So, you shouldn't like trip all the time. But microdosing, it's pretty cool. But anyways, these things are kind of like, I guess they're like DMT. Like they're like a form of DMT, like legal DMT. And if you think about it, DMT is like the spirit molecule that allows us to dream. Like when you close your eyes and you see those sparkles, that's DMT. Like that is what your pineal gland produces, your third eye. So it's just an interesting thought for you guys. Um, I have been seeing. I used to see sparks in the air as a kid a lot. Like like you look in the corner of your eye, you'll see like a spark of like light. I've been seeing way more of that again. I've been seeing like the static of reality again, like how I used to when I was a kid. Like so my vision's better, like my literal physical vision's better. My third eye vision's better. And like again, like for some reason this part of my body was like I couldn't move my awareness through the right part of my body, and I don't know why. Well, I think I know why actually, because of the weed and like psychosis and trauma and stuff, but these things help. And again, I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not making money from this. I'm not sponsored. Like I'm genuinely just sharing this out of the kindness of my own heart after all of it's all is done for me, you know? So but again, remember, we're all wired differently. We all have our own genetics. We all have our own spiritual essence. So I'm not saying it's going to be like the end all cure all. Like you're still going to have to put in the work, and you're still going to have to, you know, practice these other things. You're going to have to still practice these other things that I talk about, like reminding yourself that you create your reality, and like really focus on self-care. Like we need to normalize self-care. Like take care of yourselves, work out a little bit, um, eat better, uh, skincare type stuff. Treat yourself to a shower or a bath. Maybe get like an Epsom salt bath. Have moments of comfort for yourself. Like show up for yourself. And if you do that while on a microdose of these things, it's amazing. Like it's powerful. Like if you're on a microdose of these things and you feel really good from self-care, and then you remind yourself that this is your reality, this is your kingdom, and then like you cast out all of these negative astral entities that may be trying to make you anxious and insecure energetically, and you cast out all of these monitoring spirits, and you cast out, like I literally will cast out like bad quantum parallels of people too, like I'll cast out, and then like you write your own lore, like reality scripting while on these things. I literally am the reason why like the Schumann resonance spiked because of that. So kind of crazy, kind of crazy. But it's Limitless, and this is Limitless Podcasts. Anyways, love you guys. Hope you found this interesting. Thank you for letting me vent, by the way, because some of this was kind of like a vent. 28 minutes, 28 seconds when I looked as I was about to end the episode. Kind of cool. And I seen 28 the other day. That's crazy. Like, I seen 28 the other day. I have a screenshot. I swear to God, I have a screenshot on my phone. I did not plan on that. But anyways, yeah. I love you guys. Thank you guys for letting me vent. Hope you found this interesting. Hope you learned something. Hope you gained a new perspective on life, as crazy as it is. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out.